From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 7, streaming now.
And good evening to you here. I'm Mark Mullins. We start here at 7 o'clock with the forecast. WRTV Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory is tracking a mild start to winter. Today is the first day, Kevin.
Hello, winter. Didn't feel too bad. It will by the end of the week. Skies as you go north of Indy are cloudy or partly cloudy. I'm bringing this up because you need to give this a shot. Step outside and look to the southwest and you should see clouds willing, Jupiter, which will be the brighter of the two, Jupiter and Saturn together. Now they're pretty low on the horizon. If you just take your fist, it would be about 2 fists up from the horizon. You'll want to do that shortly because they'll be below the horizon by about 7:45. But it's spectacular. It looked like a plane coming at you. It's that bright, and they're that close together. It's hard to tell there, too. Okay, in the 40s now. That's mild. Temperatures in southwest Indiana, we're in the 50s today. We've got mild temperatures coming our way next 48 hours. There's your strong west wind. It'll still gust over 20. 43, the magic number for tomorrow. It's Wednesday where a whole lot happens. We'll break down Wednesday's transition from very mild temperatures to very cold and what that means with some snow potential coming up.
We will see you in just a few minutes, Kevin. Thank you. Now to the latest on the pandemic from the State Department of Health. 2,967 COVID-19 patients are being treated at hospitals across Indiana. The 7-day positivity rate among unique individuals is 24.3%, and 31 new deaths were reported over the weekend, bringing the total to 7,101. President-elect Joe Biden is the latest high-profile politician to publicly receive the COVID-19 vaccine. He took his first dose at a hospital in Delaware today. Afterward, he praised healthcare workers and shared a message for the public.
What I want to say is we owe these folks an awful lot. The scientists and the people who put this together, frontline workers, the people who were the ones who actually did the clinical work. It's just amazing. I'm doing this to demonstrate that people should be prepared when it's available to take the vaccine. There's nothing to worry about. I'm looking forward to the second shot. So is Jill. She's had her shot earlier today. She loves shots, I know. But
so far, nearly 3 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine have been distributed. Around 500,000 have been administered, and nearly 6 million doses of the Moderna vaccine are now being sent across the country. Many elected officials and health officials are encouraging people to trust and take a COVID-19 vaccine. WRTV's Stephanie Wade has a local doctor's message for skeptics.
I've been anticipating this moment for quite some time.
As a neurosurgery resident at IU Health,
our hospitals have been inundated with patients who have COVID, so much so to the point where we have our ICU beds completely full and our hospital systems have struggled.
Dr. Miracle Anakute was ecstatic when he was able to register for and receive the COVID-19 vaccine on Wednesday.
Hearing about this vaccine and seeing the fruition of the clinical trials for both the Pfizer vaccine and the Moderna vaccine brings great joy to a lot of us healthcare workers because now we're able to tackle this disease head on.
Patients in his field have had some of their treatments and surgeries delayed because of the pandemic. He feels this vaccine is our best hope to easing the strain on hospitals and to getting back to serving patients. He didn't hesitate, he says, because the effectiveness of this vaccine is much higher than the majority of vaccines out there.
Afterwards, I had no symptoms whatsoever. I had no significant muscle soreness at the site. In fact, it was a much more pleasant experience than actually getting the flu vaccine.
The point he's trying to make, and a group of people he wants to speak directly to.
For those who are debating whether or not to get the vaccine, please get the vaccine, especially for those in the African American population. The healthcare system has not been kind to the African American population and also to the minority population. We have the blight in medical history and in African American history and history of humanity with the Tuskegee experiments. And this puts a lot of African Americans, puts them in a place where they're afraid of the medical system and new medications and new drugs and new vaccines and new treatments that come in from the scientific community. Rightly so, they should be. But this is not Tuskegee. This is something this vaccine is something that can help stave off the pandemic that is rampaging through the communities of African Americans, Blacks, Latinos, and other minorities as well.
Stephanie Wade.
To better protect yourself and to better protect the people around you, please go ahead and get this vaccine.
WRTV.
Now to the economic impact of the COVID crisis. Minority women business owners who need a hand could be in luck. There's a grant designed to help out during the pandemic. Tiana Brown is the owner of Just Imagine Bakery and Sweet Treats LLC. She hasn't applied for the grant because she's been so busy, she says, but she is encouraging other business owners to fight to keep their businesses alive.
Don't give up. Don't just say, okay, that's the end of it and it's over and time to move on to something else. If that's your dream and you believe in it, you should push for it. This pandemic won't last forever.
We've got all the details about this grant and how to apply when you read the story at WRTV.com. The future of farming may move further indoors. Coming up, we'll take you to a first-of-its-kind operation in Utah that could serve as a blueprint for farmers across the country.
I have to be here for him. I don't have a choice. So Christmas is going to be put on hold for a minute on our end.
And next, an Indianapolis teenager may spend the holiday in the hospital after a serious car crash. How the community is rallying around his family.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 7, streaming now.
In the true spirit of the holiday, the community is stepping up to help after 5 young people were injured in a serious crash in Plainfield. The victims are 15 to 20 years old. 4 are brothers. This crash happened Wednesday on US 40. Family members say the group was on its way to celebrate a birthday at Dave & Buster's when their car was rear-ended at a stoplight and pushed into oncoming traffic and hit by a semi. Relatives say at least 2 were ejected from the car, including 15-year-old Jermaine. His mother tells WRTV her son is facing a long road to recovery.
It was heartbreaking to see. For me to walk in a hospital and see my baby in a neck brace with blood pretty much from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet is a little overwhelming for any parent to see. To see my oldest son, because he kind of felt like he was the one that wanted to take the boys out for the birthday party. When I looked him in his eyes, I seen the hurt in his eyes because he felt like they got hurt on his time. You know, so it's going to be a long process. It's going to be some healing going on and a long recovery road, but we are down for it.
Jermaine is a student at Shortridge High School. He previously attended Edison School for the Arts. He made such a lasting impact there, the principal started a GoFundMe page to raise money for medical bills.
All I knew was that he was in an accident and a semi-truck hit them. And so I panicked and called Mom and I'm like, is he alive? Like everybody at the building was just like, is he alive? Is he going to be okay? I just thought, what can we do to help? At Edison, we're a family and we're the cool cats. And so I said, once a cool cat, you're always a cool cat.
It's just so much love, so much love. I mean, from people that I didn't even realize had my phone number still. I mean, like teachers from 3 years ago are calling me about Jermaine, you know, so I greatly appreciate all the love and the support that y'all are giving to my sons.
And you can find much more information about the GoFundMe by clicking on this story in the WRTV app. We certainly are pulling for him. Coming up, a mural project in Johnson County is about more than appearances. How pastel colors and soothing scenes of nature will help brave children in times of crisis.
And speaking of colors, this blue represents some snow late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. We'll talk about our transition to winter coming up.
The sight of fields planted with crops stretching for miles could become a thing of the past. Scripps reporter Ashley Sampson shows how indoor farming could benefit the industry and the environment.
Welcome to Bateman Dairy Farm.
This is Meseta, Utah.
A farm where the cattle have quite the view.
Taking care of cows is making them happy, and we make them happy by making them comfortable.
Brad Bateman has worked this farm since he was a small boy.
There was no hanging out. It was coming to work. We developed the farm ground and broke a lot of this ground out of sagebrush.
Today, there are more than 20,000 head of cattle. And feeding them can be a tall order. But sometimes life can present a unique opportunity for, well, growth.
We want to welcome you to the first ever controlled environment indoor farm for animal feed.
Call it a marriage between farming and technology with a more eco-friendly hoof print.
We're calling this machine Olympus. Each of these machines will replace 35 to 50 acres of land.
And get this, it only takes 5% of the water of traditional farming.
The seeds are planted on a tray.
Steve Lindsley is the president of Grove Technologies.
Within about 5 to 6 days, we come out with a beautiful harvest.
His background is in tech, but he sees towers like this helping anywhere rainwater can be scarce.
The challenges with water, you think about the West, you think about California, the panhandle of Texas.
This year, weather wasn't so much the issue, it was COVID. The virus disrupted supply lines all over the world and put farms like the Batemans in danger of running out of feed.
A lot of that feed we couldn't get. They wouldn't let our trucks in.
Bateman says the timing couldn't have been better.
Oh, they love it. Yeah, it's cow candy. They really like it.
And he sleeps a bit better at night as well, knowing his cows will get fed and be happy.
It brought home the importance of having a fresh local supply of feed. That's a really big thing for us, is what that might mean long term if there's other things that happen like this, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future.
In Mesita, Utah, I'm Ashley Sampson reporting.
If you've been trying to get a view of Jupiter and Saturn and you haven't had luck, if you can see the moon, look down to the right, just above the horizon, maybe a fist above the horizon, that's where you might find Jupiter and Saturn. Some of you challenged by clouds. Can't win them all. All right, we're dry. The showers that we had early in the day well off to the east, and we set the stage here for some big changes as we go through the next 24 and 48 hours. Tomorrow, warmer or as warm as today. Wednesday, the warmest day in my forecast. Temperature jumps into the 50s on strong south winds that'll gust to 40, and then the bottom falls out. As we get to Thursday and Friday, temperatures in the 20s, and on Christmas morning, 11. The temperature expected with wind chills just below 0 and only recovering to 22 for the high temperature. Part of the transition, the cold front, the Arctic air will generate some showers coming in on the strong southwest winds. Then as we get the colder air catching the back edge of the moisture, 11 o'clock Wednesday night, changing it to some snow, especially eastern half of the state. So maybe we wake up with a light covering of snow on Thursday morning. Maybe a little sticks around for a dusting on White Christmas. Temperatures is still in the teens at noon on Christmas Day, 22 the afternoon high. That west wind will be strong. Tomorrow, temperatures in the 40s. We should warm nicely with a mixture of clouds and sunshine. The wind will gust over 20 miles per hour. Temperatures from north to south warming up more in the southwest portion of the state. On Wednesday, there are the strong winds, as I mentioned, gusting over 40 miles per hour as the Arctic front comes in from the west and we begin to make those big changes. The warmer it feels Wednesday, the colder it will feel as we get to Thursday. Here comes the rain in the evening, and then you'll see it changing to some snow on the back edge and then sliding to the southeast overnight. And I think Thursday, basically a dry day, but it will be much colder. Temperatures through the 7-day forecast hit rock bottom Christmas morning at 11 degrees, 22 the afternoon high. Still cold Saturday morning, but we bounce back nicely. Temperatures well into the 30s, close to 40 by the time we end the weekend and get back into early next week. It is, after all, officially winter now.
It's here now. It's here. It's arrived. All right. Thanks, Kevin. A community's collaboration in Johnson County is turning to art to help children in times of trauma. We spoke to a victim's advocate for this story, and out of respect for those she serves, she will not be shown on camera. Our Lauren Casey explains how the project could have a lasting impact.
Even through the art, that they're hearing that they are loved and that they're cared for.
Words of affirmation, vibrant colors, calming scenes of nature.
A lot of mountains and forest scenes with animals. And then we're also going to have on the wall the words, "You are believed."
Kimberly Hoffman guides us through the Johnson County Prosecutor's Office, where work on a giant mural is underway.
Because it's really important for these children to know that someone hears their story and believes their story.
This is the Hall of the Brave, where little ones walk with sweaty palms. Through the doors, they tell their stories of what happened to them in a time of trauma.
And then when it's time for them to be interviewed, they come down this hallway and come down to the interview room. Before we started this project, this hallway was dark and dreary.
Just, it's all white. If I feel like this is scary, then I can only imagine what kids, and I look at their reactions.
Tracy McQueen has walked that path step for step alongside these children as a trauma advocacy coordinator for Assist Indiana.
They're looking back and forth at the walls. They're paying attention to their surroundings as they go down there.
Assist Indiana is a small organization with a big impact, serving residents in Johnson County as well as 9 other counties and based in Franklin. The organization connects victims with services, advocates, intervention, and support. Tracy sees how kids react to the art that they added to the waiting room.
We put up pictures of words, and what was so unique about that was if the kids couldn't read when they came in, that was a whole other thing. If they couldn't read, their parents would read those words. You are special. You are beautiful. They would read those. And sometimes kids you could just see them light up.
And as she pitched a mural project, Kimberly with Leadership Johnson County and Creative Council searched for a community project for her leadership class. And then a community collaboration came to life.
So it just brought all of these groups together to get this one project done, which is kind of unique because most of the groups are very diverse.
Leadership Johnson County promotes leaders in our community. Creative Council promotes the arts. Assist Indiana supports victims of crimes. And so together with the Johnson County Prosecutor's Office, they applied for a grant through Johnson County REMC.
This project just demonstrates how a village can come together for a great cause, do great work, make a difference in the life of kids, and hopefully leave a lasting positive impression. We want them to feel seen, heard, known, that they're amazing, they're wonderful, they're tough, kind. I could go on, but the biggest thing is most of all, we want them to know they're believed.
Working for you in Johnson County, Lauren Casey, WRTV.
If you need to return online purchases from Walmart after Christmas, the retailer says this season you can do so from your own home. Walmart is partnering with FedEx to pick up returns from customers' homes. The item must have been shipped and sold by Walmart's website. Customers will need to start the return process on the Walmart website or app. Kevin?
Spectacular sunset for some this evening. Natalie Roy sharing this picture out in Hendricks County. As skies cleared, some of you got the view of Jupiter and Saturn, others frustrated by the clouds still hanging in there. 30 degrees, that's where we start tomorrow, but temperatures warm well into the 40s, 50s as we get to Wednesday, Mark.
And we leave with this beautiful view, Victory Field right there, and the home plate lit up. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here tonight at 11.